All right. Well, today I'm going to do a quick test. I'm going to compare some of the common thread lockers that are out there, namely the blue and the red, right? Now the blue I use all the time, but it'll be kind of neat to test them out and compare the performance between the blue and the red, and also between different brands. And I'm sure everybody has used them before, but a quick background: the difference between the blue and the red: the blue is supposed to be removable, and you're supposed to be able to use common hand tools, right? The red is supposed to be a more permanent seal, and to get them off, you're supposed to apply heat up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, that is, and then you can back everything off. Now, I chose some of the more common brands for the thread lockers that you'll see out there, namely Loctite. These are some of the more common ones. Here's the blue, the 242, and the red 271. Another one is Permatex, and blue and the red corresponding to the Loctite's blue and red. So I'm assuming this is the equivalent of 242 and the equivalent of 271. And here's one. You can see I use this a lot. It's been sitting in my toolbox there. And what is it? I can barely read that. Eskonke. But it's the M242, so it's the equivalent of the blue 242. And I don't have the red, but it'll be neat just to compare between the blues, right? Now the hardware I'm going to use, you can see, okay, this is 1/4 inch hardware, right? Just a 1/4 inch bolt and nut. This set, these are all zinc plated, and this set here, these are stainless steel. And I'm going to torque these down to 10 foot-pounds. And I'm not going to do over that, because you got to think about it. These are just common hardware. If you're using something that you need a lot of strength to it, like a lot of engine parts and stuff, then you'll need something like this. These are grade 8, and they will handle a higher amount of torque. So even more than the stainless steel. And if you'll look close at this one, this I tightened down, and I believe it was around 20 foot-pounds is when you can see how it just sheared right there, smack. So going forward, I'm going to do it just at 10 foot-pounds, and we'll go from there. And when you're applying this stuff, the instructions, they're pretty common between the brands. You put them on there, and it's supposed to set in about 10 minutes and cure at 24 hours. So I guess when I first put these on, I can first just put these at 10 foot-pounds dry, and see if there's any, see if we can measure what it takes to break the bolt out. Then we'll apply the Loctite or the thread locker, wait 10 minutes, and then see if there's any difference, when you're breaking the bolt free. And then the last test will be letting it cure for 24 hours and then come back and break the bolt and see what kind of torque it takes. And there should be quite a bit of difference between the 242 and the 271. Hopefully after 24 hours, this one should be pretty hard to take off. But we'll see. So let's prepare. And you can see I prepared this scrap piece of steel, and I think this came off like a bed frame or something, and it's actually pretty soft steel. And I just drilled, you can see a series of 4 holes here, 4 here, and 4 here, So you see the hardware I'm going to use. This is the zinc plate. I'll do the zinc plated here, blue and red, and then the stainless steel blue and red with the Loctite. And I'll mark them over here on the side so we don't get confused, or at least I won't. And over here, then I'll do the same thing. The zinc plated blue and red, and then the stainless blue and red using the Permatex. And these last four, I guess I can take just the blue here and do the zinc plate and stainless steel with this blue stuff, and that should do it. You know, we should be able to get a good reading off of that. Okay, so way over here, this is the zinc, and you can see, let me make sure that is on, yeah, it's on 10 foot-pounds. Alright, nice and easy. Now I'm going to take, you can see this, so I'll be able to take the reading on what torque it takes to remove it. I could apply it with this also, but with these I usually use when I'm doing something really heavy duty, like this one here, this Durafix. You can see their half-inch drive, and this one goes from like 25 up to some ungodly 200 foot-pounds or something like that. So that's the one I use when I'm doing some heavy-duty engine work or something, you know, on framework, and I don't have this torque wrench is a 3/8. So whenever I use the half-inch, I go to one of these. This one also is half-inch, but it has adapters, so I can adapt it over to the 3/8 or even a quarter. And this one registers much lower. I think it goes down to 4 foot-pounds and up to 100. So it's kind of a good range. So let's see what it takes. Okay, that broke, and there it's flashing 7.3. So it took 7.3 foot-pounds to remove it. So that was the zinc, and let's put this one a little closer in. This is the stainless. Oh, that was a different size nut on there. We'll use the infamous 10mm. I'm surprised I haven't lost this already. For some reason 10mm seem to disappear quick, don't they? Alright, there's 10. And let's see what this takes to take it off. .9, so that's about consistent. Oh. Alright, so I'm going to start applying thread locker to these nuts and bolts here, and when I apply it, I'm going to see if I can get two drops on it, but the main objective too, let's see, the size of that bolt, you want to be able to, when you screw that down, you want all the threads covered within the nut, right? So let's see, given these are 1/4 by 20, so that's 20 threads per inch, and the nut is 0.216, so So roughly 4.3 threads we want to cover. And you can see, so about midway and down on the bolt is where you want to apply the threads. And I'll overlap it, but now I know it's at least, you know, 4.3 threads. So we'll try to cover 5 to 6 threads at least, and make sure it's consistent on each bolt. And I guess while I'm putting all these on, I'll put them all on first and then come back and torque each one down to 10 foot-pounds. And I guess during that time, it's that 10, as long as I get it within 10 minutes, right? And be able to torque everything down and let it set. So I guess that gives you your working time. I'm probably not going to disturb it after this. I'm not going to try to back it out after 10 minutes. I think that would be kind of useless. I'm going to let it cure for 24 hours and then we'll see. So, alright, well, let's see, let's start with the blue, and I'm going to label these off. This will be for blue red with the Loctite, and the same thing, blue red with Permatex, and then blue red with whatever that brand is, Eskonke. But it's, you know, it's a weird name, but I've used it before and it seems to work pretty good. So let's get started. And you're supposed to shake them up. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. So that was 3 drops. And it's almost too much. It looks like it's about to drip off. So we'll go with 2, and that should be just about right. It's 2 drops, and it looks like it's covering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep, 6 threads. So that is just about right. And I guess that'll do it. That'll with the blue on this, so we'll be able to compare this blue to this blue to this blue. That should be interesting. Well, there's our test samples, and so now we just have to wait 24 hours.
All right. Oh, I got one too. Doubles again.
Okay, this is a good one.
Well, all right. I am back, and it has been, let's see, how long has it been? It's actually been about 27 hours. So it's been plenty of time, and I'm just going to start taking these off and recording the torque values as I go. We'll do it real quick, and I'll show you the results. So here are the results I jotted down, and I'll probably put a more legible copy of it here on the side or something for you to follow through. But yeah, so here's all the parameters, and you can see I did it for 27 hours. Everything is measured in foot-pounds. I could have done it in inch-pounds, but I decided to go foot-pounds. Here's the baseline with the zinc-plated and the stainless steel. The baseline, so this was just, you know, taking the bolt off dry, no thread locker or anything like that. It was 7.2 foot-pounds on the zinc-plated and 6.9 on the stainless. So no big, you know, no big variation there. Down here, so I decided not to do the 10-minute, you know, test. You just might as well go full, and I think just waiting 10 minutes would have been useless, so I scratched all that out here, scratched it all out for the stainless, and looking at the results is like, well, I never had to apply any heat to the red, so I scratched all that and scratched all that. So we can compare the numbers here in a few different ways. Say if we look at the Loctite, let's do a quick let's compare all the blues. We have the Loctite, the Permatex, and what was this one, the Eskonke brand. On the Loctite, it broke through at 6 foot-pounds. I mean, it was less than the baseline. The Permatex blue was 8.2, and the Eskonke brand was at 9.8. So you can see a progression here. If we compare the Loctite blue, which was on the zinc plated, and then at the stainless steel, it was 8.4. Loctite red compared, you know, between the zinc plated and the stainless, the zinc plate was 10.2 and the stainless 10.1, so almost identical. The Permatex blue, between the zinc plate, let's see, 8.2, and it was 9.8 on the stainless. On the red, 11.4 on the zinc plated as compared to 11.6 for the stainless, so that was almost identical also. A little higher on the blue there, and so we can see a pattern. Sure, there's, you know, there's a difference between the blue and the red, and even the brands are somewhat the same. I was expecting the red to be much higher though, you know what I mean? If it comes to the point where you're supposed to apply heat to break them off, I was expecting to have, you know, 20 foot-pounds at least before it would come off, but that's not the case. The only thing it looks like that seemed askew was this Loctite blue on the zinc plated at only 6. So this one here, that could have been an application error. That could have been my error, right? Because everything else seems to be fairly consistent. And I guess the Permatex blue was a little low too on the zinc, but everything else was fairly consistent. And I was surprised the blue on this one, on this other brand here at 9.8, I mean, that's almost as much as the red on the stainless here, and so that was kind of surprising. Oh, I guess it's the same, the Permatex blue, 8.2 here on the zinc and 9.8 on the stainless steel. That was the same as this on the zinc plated. So, well, so that was the results. I don't know if that will sway your decision on between the blue and the red, which one you want to use, or between brands, or some of the results were fairly consistent with each other. I would say the Permatex, yeah, slightly outperformed the Loctite, but this other one, Eskonke, it outperformed everything on the blue, that is. Now I'm kind of wishing I would have tried the red also, so who knows, maybe I'll do another test. I still have all this stuff. Maybe I'll get some red in, maybe do another test. I don't know if it would be worth it, because I know I've used blue a lot, and it does work. I mean, I'm sure all of these will work, and it's not only just for stuff just sitting here, kind of a simplified test, but I guess the point is I've used it with stuff that's subjected to heat, a lot of vibration, and it should keep fasteners from loosening up, right? And that's what I've had good luck with on this. If I'm using a nut and a bolt, and if I don't have a lock nut or anything, then I like to put blue on there, and it seems to work. I've done it on motorcycles, a little mini bike and stuff, where I know some of the hardware backs off from all the vibration and whatnot, and I've used the blue Loctite, and it solved the problem, right? I was kind of surprised with the results on the red. You know, I'll look at it again and consider a trial and error test with some red on a longer term basis, and see if it really locks in where I have to use heat to take it off. But we'll see. But this was just a quick test for you, so I don't know if it's gonna sway your judgment or influence you on what brand to take. You know, who knows? But I guess that's it for this video. I'm just starting to ramble on again, but I guess that's it. So as always, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch for my next video.